Baile agus Fáilteach chuig aglah na Mesa le Scrogall. Now I'm here in Kane's pub in Fheirtéaraigh for our Christmas show and joined by musician Mickey Harte. So thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Now you've made your way, of course, from not too far, Killarney, but you found the roads a bit treacherous.
Yes, yeah, the roads are. Yeah, that's quite like Donegal actually here, which is kind of refreshing. You know, I always find Kerry's very similar to Donegal for some reason. Yeah, so I feel it's like home from home when I come down here. Yeah. So yeah, but it's it's remote like Donegal, parts of Donegal. So it's
And this your first time in Dingle Peninsula?
It is, I think. Yeah, I've probably been here. Somebody's gonna, I say that somebody's gonna correct me. I know, probably, but I can't. I don't think I've played in Dingle at any time or anywhere, but all the names are very familiar. Well, and I'm passing all the names and go, yeah.
You're famous, of course, from the Eurovision, but what have you been up to since then?
Well, I've been doing lots of stuff. I mean, like just loads of different kind of projects, and I'm on my third album since that. So I have a new album just recorded in America. I suppose that's the most recent thing, and it's due for release early next year, 2012. So yeah, it sort of, it goes out in the States in February and comes out here in March.
Okay.
So yeah, it's good, it's nice, it's a totally different kind of album. It's like, I suppose it's contemporary folk, so if I had to put a label on it.
Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of where I was going initially, and then there was a few distractions along the way,
Yeah.
Yeah. The odd dog here and there.
The odd dog, yeah. You found everything here in Scrogall.
Great.
But going back to, we talked about a lot of artists around Ireland and around the country. You're gigging a lot and you're working very hard.
Yeah, I do a lot of gigging. Yeah, I love gigging. So yeah, that's what I feel comfortable gigging, and in the studio is kind of what I love doing. So yeah.
Do you find it hard to get gigs, or do you find that you've got a bit of a name now? So is it easy or is it hard?
I mean, it just depends. I mean, it depends on the night, depends on the audience, it depends on how you're feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, but generally, I love doing it. So I mean, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like work. If you know what I mean. It's the hardest thing is getting to the venues and the traveling and just getting around, and
they're not all as remote as this one though.
No, they're not. But like you're in Ireland, so it depends. But even like when you're like in Durin, if I'm doing the States or in Europe or anything like that, that's just the challenge of getting there. It's like people only see the hour or 2 hours that you do on stage, but there's just you spend basically your whole day preparing for the gig, getting to the gig, doing sound checks, all the stuff. So yeah, but that's kind of par for the course. But I love doing it. So yeah.
We spoke about like the Eurovision and how we'll say rose to where you are now, and look at we'll say how the music industry has changed. You have a lot of things like the X Factor and things like that. Would you ever consider going down that route?
No, I've done that. I've done it once. I mean, I got into, I suppose I got into the Eurostar thing in Ireland here, and I was fortunate enough to win it. I suppose I got into that by accident, completely kind of by accident, and it's something that you do. It takes up an awful lot of time of your life, and it's a very tough process to go through. I mean, mentally and all that stuff. I wouldn't put myself or my family or my friends or anybody through that. It's something I don't think you do twice. It's like you get into it at the start. It was great. I was very lucky insofar as it was a great program that year. It was, it kind of changed my life. And it was kind of, it was a big momentum behind it. It was a very big production that year, and I was very lucky to be involved that particular year. But it's not easy on your head, So.
Since you got into music and all that, and now where you are now, tell us how your music has evolved since then.
Well, I suppose I was kind of going along the singer-songwriter route for years. I mean, like I was gigging since I was like very young. I started gigging when I was 15. Around the pubs and the clubs and all, in the northwest, and so I was kind of there. I was kind of trodden a course, and it was, I suppose, the Eurovision kind of came along, and that was kind of a distraction almost. I'd done an album, got a deal with Sony, which was, was a great thing to happen. But it was, that album was a bit of everything. It was like, it was like 5 or 6 of my own songs, and then there was a few songs from the show, and then there was the Eurovision song. So it was the albums with, so it kind of, for a year or two, like I was kind of, trodden that course, and I suppose playing to that audience and playing that album and whatnot, and that type of audience is a very fickle kind of audience as well. It goes as quick as it comes, and you find yourself kind of having to regroup when the dust settles, and
Yeah.
you know, and that's when I started to sort of get back to doing what I love best, and just writing songs. I done an album then, or after I left Sony in 2005, called Live and Learn. I love that album. You know, it was just a really big learning process for me as well.
And of course, you have
you know,
your new single out now, Time.
yes, Time. Yeah, that's the new one. It's gone, to radio and whatnot. So yeah,
Okay.
doing the
And is it getting a lot of radio play?
no.
Okay. Well, it's getting some on DCFM, Mickey.
DCFM, no, there are. I mean, somebody heard it on Radio 1 last night, so I hear, and I heard it on the local station up home last week and stuff. So it is getting played, but it's like, it's a very difficult competitive market, at the minute. So, it's just basically, it's getting more competitive because I suppose of all the, the way the radio stations have to be very commercial nowadays, so it's very hard to get space for new stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not what it's not. The whole thing has changed, So I find just that it's a common complaint that musicians all over the world have, but here in Ireland we probably don't have as much support for local music as we should have, for Irish songwriters and for Irish bands in the radio. There's very little of it.
Yeah.
You get some nighttime stuff, but there's no real. There are a few bands.
And for bands or solo artists starting out, what advice would you give them trying to break into the music industry?
Oh, wow. I don't know, have a thick skin, grow thick skin fast. There's a lot of knocks, and I think that's you just have to have real, you have to take the knocks. There's a lot of, a lot of no's. Every yes, there's like 10 no's, and it's a tough business. It's not, when you're all the time, you're up in front of people and you're all the time being critiqued by people, and, and you just have to grow a thick skin fast, and that's the best way to survive, and just get out and get gigging. There's no substitute for gigs and for experience.
You do so many gigs though, you're extremely busy. I mean, in Dublin all the time and down in Carlow, isn't it?
Yeah, different places. I have a few residencies in the universities in Dublin, and one with the band on a Tuesday night in Dublin, and so I have all those going on, and and then I do a lot of just other gigs in different parts of the country. So it was like this weekend was Mayo and Kerry and back to Dublin again.
Yeah.
So depends, and then we do some tours out of Ireland.
Yeah.
Out to the States and Germany and whatnot. So.
And for anyone that wants to listen to your music, where is it available?
So on the website, mickeyhartemusic.com is probably the best place. There's stuff on iTunes and there's stuff on CD Baby and there's loads of different places, but I suppose if you can get them all via the website, so
Okay, very good. Well, thanks for joining us here at Scrogall, and we hope to have you back in Dingle again soon.
Yeah.
Before you leave us, you're going to play us a song.
Yeah, I will. I'll play a song. I'll play the new single. It's called Time.
Okay, great. Mickey Harte and Time. Again, thanks to Mickey Harte for joining us here at Scrogall for our Christmas show. So I'll leave you take it away.
Stop chasing ghosts, you gotta move on, stranger than most, you gotta be strong, cause you're deep, ocean blue. I'll try to come rescue you, I spoke straight to your heart. Now I'm left in the dark. All I need is time, just a little bit of time. Oh, no, just enough to find a way to make you shine. All I need is time, not just a little bit of time, just enough to find a way to make you mine. All I need is time. Give love like you never gave before. Straight up, I'll give it back to you and more. Cause you're deep ocean blue. I'll try to come rescue you. I spoke straight to your heart. Now I'm left in the dark. All I need is time, just a little bit of time. Hey now, just enough to just another